If someone does this, he's already in love with you. What if the man you think is just a friend is quietly in love with you, but can't show it? Most women expect grand gestures, bold confessions, and words that sound like movie lines. But real love, especially a man's love, often hides in silence. Did you know that nearly 9 out of 10 men who are truly in love will never openly admit it? They'll stay composed, logical, and calm on the outside, while their nervous system betrays every feeling inside. It's not because they don't care, it's because they've been trained since childhood that vulnerability is weakness. So they fight it. But the truth is, no man can fully hide love. It leaks through body language, tone, and the smallest, most unintentional details. Today we'll decode the 7 hidden psychological signs that reveal when a man is deeply in love, even if he tries his best to conceal it. And if you recognize more than one of these signs, he's not just being nice, he's fighting feelings he doesn't yet know how to express. Let's start with the first one. The glance that says everything he's afraid to admit. Sign 1. The obsessive side glance. You're talking, laughing, or looking at your phone, and he's pretending not to notice. But the moment your eyes turn away, he's watching you. Not in a way that feels intrusive, but in a quiet, almost magnetic way. Men who are secretly in love often develop a pattern known in psychology as prolonged side glances. It happens because their amygdala, the brain's emotion center, becomes hyperactive around the person they desire. He wants to look at you, to study your expressions, your energy, but his rational mind tells him to stay composed. That's why he avoids direct eye contact when you're facing him, but can't resist when you're not looking. If you want to test it, try this. Act distracted, then suddenly turn his way. If his eyes dart away the instant you look, that reaction isn't coincidence. That's emotion leaking through restraint. Because when a man truly loves and hides it, his eyes betray what his words never will. Love rarely announces itself. It reveals itself in the glance you weren't supposed to catch. Sign 2. Reverse mirroring. Sometimes a man in love acts like he doesn't care, not because he doesn't feel, but because he feels too much. This is called reverse mirroring. You laugh, he stays serious. You're emotional, he goes quiet. But his body tells another story. Watch his hands when he's pretending to be calm. They fidget, twitch, or hide in his pockets. His voice might stay level, but his nervous system betrays him. Why does this happen? When attraction meets fear of exposure, the brain creates a contradiction. His words try to distance, but his body leans closer. He performs indifference as a shield. Yet every involuntary movement, the glance that lingers, the posture that softens when you speak, reveals the truth. Reverse mirroring isn't about coldness. It's about restraint. And restraint, when it cracks, always exposes the heart beneath it. Sign 3. The hyper-developed memory. When a man secretly loves you, his memory becomes sharper, but only when it comes to you. He might forget his friend's birthday or what he had for lunch yesterday, yet he'll remember the exact way you take your coffee, the color you wore the day you first met, or that random story you told once and never mentioned again. This isn't luck or coincidence, it's neuroscience. The hippocampus, the brain's memory center, is wired to store emotionally charged details. When he's around you, his emotional energy spikes, causing his brain to record every nuance. Your tone, your laugh, your preferences. Even the most trivial details about you become imprinted in his mind, like unintentional love notes written by his own biology. He might not consciously realize he's doing it. You'll hear it in small, offhand comments. I ordered your coffee like this. Not sure why. Or, didn't you say you like that song? He frames it as casual, but it's anything but casual. His subconscious has been quietly archiving moments connected to you, creating an emotional map he can't turn off. This is what hidden affection looks like. Not loud declarations or grand gestures, but a quiet consistency in remembering what most people forget. He doesn't need reminders because you've already become one. Every time he recalls something small about you, it's his mind's way of revisiting the connection. A mental replay of how you make him feel. He won't admit it out loud. He might even pretend he forgot. But the proof isn't in his words, it's in his memory. When a man remembers you in detail without trying to, it's because somewhere deep inside, he's already decided you matter, and that's something no one can fake. Sign 4. The silent protector syndrome. This is one of the most telling, yet most overlooked, signs of secret love. A man who's hiding his feelings often turns into a quiet guardian without even realizing it. His instinct to protect you doesn't shout, it whispers. It's not the loud, let me help you kind of gesture. It's subtle, natural, and deeply subconscious. In a group setting, notice where he stands. He often positions himself in a way that gives him a clear view of you. Not possessive, but alert. If someone interrupts while you're speaking, he'll say, "Hey, let her finish," in a tone so casual you might miss the meaning behind it. When you're walking on the street, he drifts to the side closest to the traffic. Not to show off, but because his mind instinctively calculates your safety before his own. These aren't random acts of politeness, they're emotional reflexes triggered by affection. His limbic system, the brain's emotional control center, quietly activates protection mode whenever you're near. It's a biological response. Centuries of evolution fine-tuned to defend the one who matters most. The more he tries to suppress his emotions, the stronger this pattern becomes. He'll deny any special feelings. "We're just friends," while unconsciously adjusting his behavior to shield you. It's as if his body knows something his mind refuses to say. You can see it in the way he watches out for you without asking, steps forward when things get tense, or notices small risks before you do. That's not friendship. That's care disguised as instinct. When a man silently protects you, not for attention or reward, but out of reflex, that's love revealing itself in its purest, most unspoken form. Sign 5. The paradox of availability. There's a careful rhythm to how he appears, not always here, but never gone when it matters. This is the paradox of availability. A man who's trying to hide his feelings won't be constantly at your side. That would give him away. Nor will he be absent. Instead, he becomes selectively present. He delays casual replies, keeps a cool distance during small talk, but the moment you show vulnerability, a late-night message, a quiet, "I'm not okay," a sudden problem, he turns on. Suddenly, his attention sharpens. His messages come faster. His voice softens. His posture leans in. Those tiny biological cues, pupils widening, breathing slowing, shoulders uncurling, betray how tuned in he really is. Why this pattern? Because revealing need openly risks exposure. So he masks attachment with restraint, but his nervous system still responds when you signal emotional urgency. Over time, a pattern emerges. You're the one whose distress cuts through his guardedness. He won't flood your feed with constant affection, but he will rearrange his schedule or show up when the stakes are emotional. That selective responsiveness is not indifference. It's investment disguised as control. Notice it closely. The faster, calmer, more present version of him when you drop your guard. If vulnerability brings out his true focus, that's a quiet admission. He chooses to be available when it matters most, not for show, but because somewhere inside he prioritizes you above his own safety of remaining hidden. Sign 6. Unconscious synchronization. This one is pure neuroscience meeting human longing. When two people connect, mirror neurons light up. The brain's built-in empathy engine that makes us copy gestures, match posture, and sync speech without thinking. Now imagine a man whose heart is leaking feelings he's desperate to hide. His body betrays him in tiny, repeatable ways. You fold your arms. Seconds later, he does too, then suddenly drops them as if embarrassed by the mimicry. You speed up your sentence. He unconsciously quickens his cadence, then abruptly slows to a neutral pace. It's a rhythm of approach and restraint. His nervous system wants to mirror you, to become part of your flow, but his conscious mind slams the brakes every time it senses exposure. That push-pull shows up in micro patterns. For 20 to 30 seconds, you'll see near-perfect synchronization. Shared breaths, matched gestures, parallel laughter, until an inner alarm, fear of being obvious forces him to break the pattern. To an outsider, it looks like awkward timing. To someone paying attention, it's a dance between yearning and control. This battle is draining. Patients describe feeling inexplicably tired after interacting with someone they love. That fatigue is real. Maintaining emotional restraint while the body keeps matching another person consumes cognitive and physiological energy. So when you notice these flickers of sync followed by sudden correction, treat it as a fingerprint of hidden feeling. It's one of the clearest signs that his nervous system is trying to be close, even when his lips won't admit it. Sign 7. The name dilemma. This sign is subtle, yet it reveals everything. When a man is in love but trying to hide it, his relationship with your name changes. He avoids saying it directly to you, not out of disinterest, but because it feels too intimate. Your name becomes a mirror that reflects what he's trying not to feel. He'll talk about you often, just not to you. Friends may mention how your name keeps slipping into his conversations. That's where his mask cracks. When someone else says your name, he reacts instantly. His eyes widen, his breath pauses, his whole body betrays the emotions his words try to bury. But this isn't just a romantic quirk. It's fear. Fear of rejection, fear of losing what already exists, fear of not being enough. Many men hide their feelings not because they don't care, but because they care too much. Your role isn't to expose him. It's to create emotional safety. Quiet moments where he feels seen without judgment. Laughter, trust, simple connection. That's when love reveals itself naturally. But remember this, awareness doesn't mean waiting forever. Use this understanding as clarity, not as a reason to stay trapped. True love shouldn't need to hide, because love that must remain unspoken is like a flame underwater. Impossible, fragile, and yet somehow still burning. In the end, the signs were never just clues about him. They were lessons about love itself, because love isn't always loud. Sometimes it hides behind silence, behind glances, behind a name spoken too softly to be noticed. But here's what truly matters. You deserve a love that speaks, not one that hides, a love that shows itself clearly, without fear, without games. So if you've recognized these signs, take them as clarity, not as chains. If it's real, it will find its voice. And if it doesn't, then maybe it was never meant to stay. Because the love that's truly yours will never need to be decoded. This is Factsworth, where we explore the truths hidden in human behavior and the quiet psychology of the heart. If this video helped you see things differently, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe. Because understanding others always begins with understanding yourself.